Iron Thorns just won the Pokemon World Championship, and that was actually the deck that I was playing last Thursday at my local Pokemon tournament. My list is a little different than the World Champion, so I will edit this in the future. But let's get into the vlog. There was only 17 players tonight, which means there's 4 rounds total. And of course, make sure you guys stay to the end of this video because we do have some packs to open. Alright, enough talking, let's jump into round 1. Our first opponent is playing Guardy, and it's crazy that I didn't even mulligan even though I only have 4 Pokemons in my deck. But he did. I gotta go first, so I attach 1 energy and pass. He had a pretty good start with Fluttermane in the active. He got 2 routes set up, but he whiffed the TM Evo, so right now we are ahead. I know he can't attack next turn, so I just attach a double turbo and attack the Fluttermane. I was hoping to find a Lost City, but we are still fine right now. He had Iono next turn, and all he could do was evolve 1 route and pass. I put down another Iron Thorns and played Judge because I know he has a chance to attack next turn, and proceed to knock out his active routes. During his turn, I think he was digging for his Gardevoir EX, and maybe an attacker, but unfortunately he whiffed and just passed. I bossed up his only Kirlia and knocked it out. He super rotted back some routes in Kirlia, and that was kind of it for his turn. I wish I had a boss in hand to bring up the Klefki and knock it out with Lost City in play, but I proceed to just Judge to disrupt his hand and knock out his Manaphy. He Arven next turn into an unfair stand, putting my hand down to only 2 cards left. I wasn't really worried because he was still unable to attack this turn. He passed and I just attack whatever's in the active again. With only 1 prize left, I was not worried at all. Since Klefki is in the active spot, he finally set up his Gardevoir EX and accelerated the energy needed to attack. I didn't have a boss order in hand, but I was able to land heads on one of my Crushing Hammer to get rid of one of his energy, and swing for 140 to the Gardevoir. Next turn, my opponent realized there was no way for him to win, so he surrendered and we started the night with a record of 1-0. Round 2, we went up against our homie Brandon, who is playing Dragapult. Literally one of the hardest matchup for me. Once again, I did have to mulligan, which is pretty crazy to me. He went first and was able to set up his board pretty well. I started my turn with a Crushing Hammer, which landed head, and we got rid of the energy that he got attached last turn. Then I attached 1 energy and researched my hand away so I have a fresh hand and pass my turn. Brandon tried to use Luminion's ability to get a supporter, but that's not happening with my Iron Thorns active. I told him he can take it back, but he said he's gonna put it down anyways because he has to use Forest Seal Stone. He then grabbed a card from the Forest Seal Stone and passed his turn. I set up another Iron Thorns EX and knock out his active Pidgey. Since I knock out Brandon's Pokemon, he played Mellow, which lets you attach 1 fire energy to one of his Pokemon and draw until he has 6, which he literally got everything he needed. He evolved his active Drippy into a Dragapult EX and attached Neo Upper Energy. We are still safe for now since he can't knock us out, but at this point I knew I was in a losing situation. I played Crushing Hammer and I really needed to hit heads on this one. As you can see, we did not land heads because Brandon is so happy and we are unable to get rid of the Neo Upper Energy. So I penny up my active Thorns to get rid of the damages and attack for 140. Brandon was able to knock out my active Iron Thorns, but since we have Legacy Energy attached, he was only able to take 1 prize. I set up another Iron Thorns EX and bossed up his Luminion to knock it out, which I think was a misplay, because I think it's smarter to kill the Dragapult, just because I don't think he can set up another one, since he only has a few cards in his hand. But I was greedy and went for the prize cards. He knocked out another one of my Iron Thorns next turn. It's not looking good for me. I wasn't able to set up my last Iron Thorns, so I just bossed up one of his Pokemon and tried to stall. But he had Arven in hand to get Earthen Vessel to get the energy to retreat and knock out my only Pokemon. GG Brandon, we are now at 1-1. Round 3 we went up against another one of our homies, Edward, who is playing Lugia, one of his favorite decks. But sorry to Edward because my deck completely shuts off his deck. I got to go first and attach 1 energy and pass. He knows that I can knock out his Lugia next turn if I have an energy, so he set up another one and pass. I set up another Iron Thorns EX with Arven and attached double turbo energy to attack. Since Lugia is weak to lightning, we do exactly enough to knock it out. He placed down Iron Hands and attached Jet Energy to promote it to the active. Sadly for Edward, I already had Boss in hand to bring it back up and knock it out again. During his turn, all he could do was put down a Minccino and pass. I Arven for Crushing Hammer to get rid of the Jet Energy that's attached to Iron Hands. We were able to land head to get rid of the energy. There was nothing else I could do, so I attacked with Iron Thorns for 140 damage to his Iron Hands. Edward realized he priced his last Lugia, so that was GG, putting us at 2-1. Our last and final round we went up against Charizard. I went first and whiffed the energy, which is pretty rough for me. My opponent started with a Charmander with 1 fire energy attached, and then he placed down 1 Rotom V. I played Crushing Hammer, which landed heads, so I was able to get rid of his only energy. I still had no energy in hand, so I had to research my hand away, which got me the energy to attach. We passed it back to our opponent, but his hand was pretty bad, so he just passed it back to me. I top decked a double turbo to attach and knock out his lonely Charmander. He placed down 1 Manaphy, which he retreated his Rotom V to promote the Manaphy into the active. I Iono next turn, which I don't think I should have, since his hand was pretty bad already. Then I proceed to knock out his Manaphy. Next turn, he was able to set up 2 Charmander and a Duskull. He was able to attach another energy onto one of his Charmander, but I just played Crushing Hammer next turn, which landed heads again, so we got rid of it again. There was nothing else I could do that turn, so we just attacked for 140 damage to the Rotom V. He got his Charizard EX out, but no energies attached, so he passed it back to me, so I just attacked the Rotom V again for 2 prize. He promoted up his Charizard EX, and I basically keep attacking that Charizard EX for the next few turns. He was never able to get the energies he needed to attack. So we secure the win, which put us at 3-1. With so many people with a record of 3-1, we only got placed 5th, but that still got us 3 Twilight Masquerade packs. Let's crack open these packs. We also got a prize pack 4 and 5 for participating. Series 5 just came out, so we're gonna save this to do one big opening. But let's open up this Series 4 pack. Iono, not bad at all. And a switch. We'll take those. On to the Twilight Masquerade packs now. Pack number 1. Dragapult EX, a playable card. Not a bad start. Pack number 2. Last pack magic. Can we pull something? Why is Twilight Masquerade so rough? That is it for this vlog though, but you guys can always check out my other videos right over here. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Whoosh.